some men are in competition with each other as well.
Of course,
because they play on the downfall.
Oh,
they're like,
bro.
You know what? This person lost their job.
This person's going through that. By the way,
their marriage is going down.
People. Like there's some people they get it's so bad. They get a twinge of
of
joy when they hear that somebody's downfall is happening. They get a little.
Listen, I wasn't gonna say anything about.
It's like inject it.
A little bit of dopamine comes to their way.
Dopamine comes to the brain. It's like.
Good morning, good evening, good everything. My name is Chrysalis and you are listening to my brand new podcast called Searching for Myself. So yes, it's on YouTube, Spotify and SoundCloud, wherever you listen to your audio platforms. This is brand new for me. This is audio and visual, which is very intimidating and scary if you guys can only see the cameras. So the reason for this actual podcast series is to talk about different things that we don't talk about as human beings that we keep to ourselves and develop tools to discuss them and to get over them. And on this platform, I bring along incredible, amazing guests that I find personally incredible and inspiring. And today's theme, before I introduce my incredible guest, yes, I have my phone, it's not very professional, but today's theme and the title is The Quiet Pain, Friendship Breakups, Male Vulnerability and Loneliness. So we have three themes we're going to talk about. Friendship breakups, why does it hurt so much? Why do men struggle to be emotionally available to each other? And also the quiet epidemic of male loneliness. Oh, we're getting there. So, let me introduce my incredible first guest. So let me introduce this guy here. Listen, he is a singer, a songwriter, an incredible man of God, an author, a dancer, a famous TikToker. Listen, he doesn't need any introduction. It is Michael the Great.
My brother. What's going on, man?
Bro, how do you feel?
Bro, that intro, boy. You know what? I always watch podcasts and people was like, the intro. I know what it feels like now to have an intro. That's the first time I've been introed like that.
Listen. Now it has to be done.
My guy.
And you are my first guest here.
Bro,
so
no pressure.
No pressure. But bro, we got to get it done. So basically, what we're going to do is to break the ice. Okay. I'm a bit nervous myself. I'm going to ask you three questions, which are very incredible. Okay. So the first two are kind of a reflective question. Okay. And the last question is very much a bonus kind of fun question.
Okay, dope.
But okay, so the first question that
Firstly, can I just say?
Yeah, of course.
I'm very proud of you for this, by the way.
Oh, don't do it.
I'm not going to do that here, but bro, I'm very proud of you, man. Like,
bro,
honestly, this is big because I know how much you have put thought into this. So yeah, just well done, man. Ahead of time.
Michael's my bro. Like,
come on, man.
Listen, Eddie, thank you, bro. I appreciate you. Okay, so first question. Do uncomfortable situations bring the best or worst out of you?
Personally? Uncomfortable situation. A bit of both.
Okay.
I think the best because you grow from the situation. Yeah. But I think the worst because growth is uncomfortable. Yeah. And it doesn't feel nice. So sometimes you can kind of want to go back. Yeah. That makes sense. But I would say that in the end, the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Second question. This is getting there. When was the last time you cried and why?
In the deep end.
Listen, we ain't playing hate. I'm not searching for myself.
Okay. When's the last time I cried and why? Oh gosh. Oh no, I'm on the spot now. When's the last time I cried? What we in? I've cried this year. Yeah, I've definitely cried this year. And I think it was because do you know what? I actually tell a lie. It was not too long ago, and it's gonna sound silly. Yeah,
if you feel comfortable sharing that,
I absolutely do. Okay, I was just overwhelmed with gratitude, so I cried. I didn't have anywhere to put the gratitude feelings. I was like,
sometimes you just gotta. Yeah, it just comes out.
It just came out. Like it wasn't like a weeping cry. It just came out. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. My last question is quite a fun one. Is what happened in your childhood that you thought was normal, but in hindsight, as an adult, you think that's kind of messed up? So for me personally, I thought of when shout to my mum. She had a hairdresser that basically used to come to our yard over the weekend and actually spend 72 hours braiding my mum's hair. She'll be in control of the TV. She'll know what's for dinner. And I'm thinking, why is this lady not paying rent? Why is she not paying a utility bill? Why is she not paying a water bill? And she's too comfortable. And my mum's like, it's too late to take her home. You have a place of safety to go, my friend. Why are you here? I don't think that's normal.
That's not, so she was lodging basically.
Basically, she had probably had rent Monday to Friday, one of them part-time ones. I don't know what she did over the weekend, but
that's not madness.
Yeah.
I'd probably say, the the age-old, beating the kid, spare the rod, spare the child. I think it's like there was. You know, what's so funny. Yeah,
tell me.
I had friends. Some of my friends who weren't of the same race as me. I would see them like shout at their mum. One of my friends even drop kicked his mum once.
Not drop kicked.
Drop kicked.
Where are they today,
bro?
Jail.
I believe he's in jail. Like he might. Anyway, his dad went jail, but he drop kicked his mum in it. So I tried to do this kind of not drop kick my mum, but I tried to like. My own version was like laughing at her when she was telling me off, and then she beat me.
Yeah,
and then I was like, that wasn't great growing up, but she'll never admit it though. She thinks she didn't do it.
Yeah, that's like my mum. Like literally, like that.
And mum, I love you, by the way. Just in
I
case
love you, mum, because
this, okay?
you can still fight. But and shout out to your friend allegedly.
Bro, Ashley.
We're saying names.
I'm saying names. Ashley,
please
was
come
you.
after me. I don't want this.
Honestly.
Okay. Oh, bless you. Well, those are the 3 questions, guys, and let's get back to the actual topic. So, as I said, about the themes, about if you... Oh. Okay. Speaking to the... Okay, apologies. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, I'm just going to read out the first actual segment.
Yeah.
It is friendship breakups, and we're going to talk about it. Why can they feel as painful as romantic breakups? And why does society actually downplay them? So for men, so do you have any kind of examples for you? For personally, I do. So in regards to sometimes people actually ghost, sometimes friendships slowly fade away, and sometimes actually people is it confrontational? Yeah, the friendship. Do you have any examples?
Of friendship breakups that I've had.
And how did it make you feel? How did you overcome it? Or is the wound still
I've
fresh?
I've definitely had friendship breakups, and they feel more intense than the romantic ones, because I feel like I think romantic relationships, they don't tend to last as long. If you break up, they don't tend to last as long as your friendships.
Yeah.
So, and it's a thing whereby, a friendship breakup, you're kind of like, well, why are we breaking up? It doesn't make sense. Like, what? It's not like, like the stereotypical reasons why people break up in relationships. Maybe communication, maybe, infidelity, cheating and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There is no infidelity in friendship. So you're like, why are we actually breaking up? But I genuinely think, for me, the friendship breakups that I've had is due to... do you know what? It's mainly due to, growing apart. Yeah. And just becoming different people. Yeah. I would say those friendships. That, and also context. Like if we move on in life, like let's say I'm in college and we're friends, and then we move on to another phase of life, we might not just be as close. So
big facts. I think for me, I personally don't like confrontation. It makes me feel very much uncomfortable.
I get it.
But I do think in my situation, like looking at friendship breakups in the past and how it hurts, I think sometimes it's healthy to actually acknowledge the feeling of it and why you feel that you both have different paths in life. And sometimes, even in my situation, where I personally shout out to my boy, but I'm not going to go much into because it's overcome. Okay. But situation where my boy had more additional responsibilities, which I understand when you're married and have kids and stuff like that. But if you don't, and you're used to such a high level frequency, for lack of a better word, friendship where you rely on each other, and then one puts in more effort, you feel, and one doesn't, you start to feel neglected a little bit. And that's how I felt at first. And I was like, bro, what is actually happening? So like, even when my boy messaged me, I was just like, you know what? I'm actually surprised to respectfully hear from you. And he was like, why?
Oh, so he messaged later down the line?
Yeah, because I messaged him, and then he messaged me a couple months later. But it used to be like, we message every now and then in months, in 1 month, sorry. So it was just a lot. And then we met up and we talked about it, and he was going through a lot. I was going through a lot. And it's weird for me because I felt that I didn't know whether the friendship served much purpose anymore. And I was fearful because the guy's so lovable in terms of everybody loves that guy and he has everyone. And I'm just like, where do I fit in your life? Because I'm that type of friend who is here to help you and to serve if you need this and the other. So I don't take, I was gonna say unfortunately. Well, it's not a bad thing. I like serving people and seeing if I can help this and the other. But when all areas are covered, I'm like, where do I kind of fit in? Yeah. But I'm learning, I think my friend is just like, just be there and part of me is just like, that's not good enough as a friend. But I have to acknowledge that that's what he...
Did he move? Did you guys ever live near each other?
No.
No. Okay, so it's not about like distance, because sometimes it's like, oh, if they've moved out of London or they've moved somewhere far or another country.
Yeah.
I had that situation where we're not broken up anymore, but there was a rocky part of a friendship that I had where a close friend of mine had moved abroad.
Yeah.
And so naturally you're not seeing each other in as much frequency.
Yeah.
And then also, they went on to move into other phases of life, relationship, children, marriage now. And you kind of do think to yourself, how do I fit in this picture?
Yeah.
So I get it. But I think communication's a big part. And I also think it's incumbent on friends that are moving on to that next stage of life. Involve your friends as much as you can. You know what I mean? Like, they're still your friends. That you want to have them around as much as possible. I think.
I agree. I think most definitely. I think sometimes it depends on the person, and that's why with this particular friend, I thanked him for creating such a safe space, because we're both confrontational people. So we're just very much like,
no one's gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. You're not gonna say it. So we're just gonna keep quiet. Yeah, literally. Like, and you know what it is, you'll be like, because when you're two non-confrontational people as well, the blood will be boiling inside of you, but you're just looking at each other like,
so what's up?
You're good. I'm not gonna say it. You're not gonna say it.
It's nice to see you again.
Honestly, bro, I get it.
Yeah, I just think I encourage people. It depends how the friendship was. If it's like naturally drift away and you miss that person, reach out. If it's a situation where you feel like the person's acting shady, or you feel this, that, and the other, sometimes, and you feel hurt by it, and they're not going to acknowledge it, I will encourage people to forgive the apology that never came, to be honest, and find peace on that. On one side of yourself. Otherwise, that person's living rent-free, they're getting married, having kids, having babies, and you're just there, like a watermelon, just sitting down.
Just
like
there.
A potato. Like, bit mad.
Bitter, angry.
So I just fully screamed that. Shout out to the sound man.
Just me.
Yeah, no, it's not easy. Oh,
it's not at all. But so you guys are friends now? Yeah,
we're friends. I feel like we've navigated to a different a different path in our lives that we're still cool. I was worried because I was like, this guy is such an incredible human being. And even I was saying to my cousin, shout out to my cousin, but I was saying to him a couple of days ago that with friends, I'm friendly with everyone. And they're like, yo, Chris, we're friends. And I'm like, we're acquaintances, respectfully, in my mind, but I'm friendly. But certain people, I have this like small group of friends that, including yourself, obviously, that I feel like I could confide in and feel, listen, Michael's so non-judgmental. You need a friend like him, because I could listen, I told this guy a lot.
And that's true. It's true. Chris has told me a lot now. He's told me a lot.
I thought I'll just say it to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Yeah, nah,
but I just literally, I'm
the friend that will call you. We'll go for dinner, and I'll be like, so, what's happening in your life?
Like I say, my business. Not playing. Nah, he's dope, honestly.
Appreciate you, bro.
Okay, man. Oh, is it good? How's the phone looking?
It's all right.
Cool. All right, let's look into our next segment, guys. And segment number 2. Let's go. Oh, actually, before we move over, also a study was found in 2021 that it reports that people reported that they feel more emotional distress from friendship loss than romantic breakups, especially when the friendship was long term. I should have said that at the beginning. Wow, that beginning. Jesus, I cannot say beginning in the beginning. Lord.
In the beginning.
Okay, segment number 2. All right, it is called emotional vulnerability among men. So, guys, why do even Michael, actually, in fact, why do you think young men, all men of all ages, struggle to express emotions to each other? And do you think it's a cultural expectation? And yeah, what's your thoughts? What's the last time you had a real, conversation with that? Why is that?
I think the first part. Do you want me to be really honest?
Listen, let's keep it funky.
Okay,
let's keep it 100.
I think a lot of men don't share their emotions with other men because it's deemed as like it's like emasculating to do so. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think as men we have this thing of like, I need to be like this. I need to, all the macho thing. I think a lot of guys don't like to share because they feel emasculated by doing so. And Yeah, I don't know why that is, because at the end of the day, you're still a human being. It's funny, we talked about this not too long ago, so a lot of the stuff that you're saying is still fresh in my mind from, I spoke about this with another one of my friends. But I feel like, yeah, it's emasculating for men. I also think that some men don't really know how to process how they feel.
Yes.
And they haven't gone deep enough, like, emotionally within themselves to really know how to process what it is that they're feeling. So especially when you're young, boys, don't cry, stop crying. I know in certain cultures as well, like in Jamaican culture, sometimes it's like if you're crying, it's like, well, I'll give you something to cry about. Do you want me to give you something to cry about? Is it in Ghanaian culture too?
I'm not gonna.
Okay, so it's around the world, so it's around the diaspora. But it's one of those things culturally where you're told to not cry, to not show any sort of negative emotion, be seen and not heard, those sorts of things. So when you grow up, that doesn't change. Just because you age, it doesn't change. So I think that's one of the main reasons why men struggle to open up. They don't want to seem weak. You don't want to seem, you don't want to be emasculated.
Most definitely not.
What do you think?
I 1000% agree with you. I should have started again with statistics, actually. So Movember, wow.
That's the thing where the mustache thing, right?
Okay. It's a bit wild. Found that over 30% of men say they have no close friends they could confide in, which is definitely interesting. And I think men, in terms of it streams from toxic masculinity, like you're taught, men don't cry, suppress those emotions, go to the gym, which I do try, this, that, and the other. And it's all a situation that men feel like they have to play into that stereotype, which is not good for your mental health. I mean, even if you look at statistics, I think and trigger warning, the most people that are at high risk of suicide, I believe, are older men, which I found very concerning, and that's due to isolation and loneliness. So I just think men need to, I don't say men need to man up, because that's silly. But I think men need to be able to create a safe environment to express their emotions and be like, bro, like, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, and have a season where they feel that they can depend on someone. And I actually, honestly, and this is a little bit toxic, but I do feel like some men don't want to open up because secretly some men are in competition with each other as well.
Of course,
because they play on the downfall.
Oh,
they're like,
bro,
you know what? This person lost their job.
This person's going through that. By the way,
their marriage is going down.
People. Like there's some people, they get it's so bad. They get a twinge of joy when they hear that somebody's downfall is happening. They get a little.
Listen, I wasn't gonna say anything about.
It's like inject it.
A little bit of dopamine comes to the brain.
Dopamine comes to the brain. It's like I think you know what's crazy though, I think at the same time, a lot of men, where are the spaces where they can actually speak?
Yes.
Where are they?
Because
I've heard things being said about, if you're a man and you speak to your lady about certain things, then she's not going to look at you the same way.
Wow.
Firstly, I don't know what kind of woman you have if that's the case. I just find that very strange. But, and then also this kind of thing of men, you can't go to your boys, you can't go to your woman. Like, where are you supposed to go? Having said that, I have found a few spaces though where I think men can talk, but it requires the people in the room to be emotionally mature. To handle the conversations. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some people that can't, bro, let's just keep it real, man. Some people, you'll tell them what you're going through and they'll stare at you and they're like,
can't relate.
Or they'll give you some stoicism quote that some Greek god that they have never even heard of until they opened the book and went, oh, don't think like that.
Exactly.
Think like a ironclad monk. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? This is where you get the toxic kind of red pill stuff creeping in, because you get. I'm not against stoicism. I think philosophies like can help people to kind of like, kind of anchors your mind, but at the same time, still having a place to be able to say to your boys, you know what, bro, my money's low at the moment. I can't afford that thing. Or, bro, my girl is this and that. You need to just
you have to
open up
to your girl, to your guy.
And like, how can you? What are you gonna do? What's the
worst gonna happen?
What's the worst that's gonna happen,
bro? Listen,
we're all on this earth together, by the way, guys. Everyone's going through similar things or has been through similar things. So yeah.
Listen, don't keep it to yourself, because you'll get depressed and you just don't want people to be concerned and you be on suicide watch and all that stuff. Trigger warning again. But it's just, sorry.
No, sorry, I didn't want to.
No.
I was going to say, it's funny you say that, because I remember when I went to Japan once, right?
Ooh.
And in Japan, the culture, when you go there, everyone's very polite. Everybody's very like, oh, nice, very, 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 very polite people, and very quiet and, and composed. But they have a very high suicide rate.
They do.
They have a very high suicide rate.
Are you going to say it?
What was it?
It's like a garden that they go
to.
Oh,
you know about it.
I know about
Bro,
it.
yes. It's near the Mount Fuji, I think. Or it's in
something like that.
Or somewhere, or near the, I can't remember. They did tell us though, where people go there and they literally throw themselves over the cliff, because even in that culture, it's kind of, don't talk about your problems, taboo, don't say it's taboo. So it's affecting people everywhere.
Exactly.
It kind of just shows what happens when you don't let it out.
Exactly. Look after your mental health, man. Yeah. Just confining your brother, doesn't have to be a biological one, or even find a therapist if you want. Do it confidential. You don't have to tell anyone, or even pillow talk with your missus, and I feel low-key that's when you get the best information. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
can't lie to you.
I can't lie. You just
can't lie. Yeah.
And you know what? And if you feel that she'll look at you a certain way, it's a bit controversial, but I do not feel like she's the one for you, because respectfully, the relationship is meant to create a safe space that you could be vulnerable with your girl, and that your heart actually belongs to her, and she will take care of it. Now, if you feel that she'll look like a less of a man because of that situation, then you may have to reevaluate that relationship. But I move on, respectfully. But yeah, we
100%. Do you? Sorry, I feel like I'm.
No, go on,
it's
bro.
Because of a podcast.
Shout out your podcast, bro.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay, guys. I have a podcast called The Point Podcast.
Yes, it's dope.
At The Point Podcast, and yeah. So I'm like wanting to like ask you questions.
No,
but yeah, I'll
ask.
follow the format.
Ask.
Do you think? Would you say that you currently have spaces now? Or is it something that you're developing where you can talk to, or is it more kind of individual friends have different sides to you or whatever?
Oh, that's a great question. I think it's individual friends that I feel like I could confide in, most definitely. Spaces, I used to have a space, and they're very lovely guys, shout out to them, but it's just like,
is it the space I'm thinking of?
Yeah. And they're awesome. But it's not to do with that. It's to do with me, because I just feel...
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. Because I'm such a, believe it or not, this is a facade, but I'm very introverted and shy. And I don't like opening up to everyone, because I'm just like, I don't know you like that. It shouldn't be like that. And shout out to them, because I love them and they're my brothers. But if it's new people, and my sister's very, shout out to Hannah, she's like, you're very comfortable with the people that you know. Yeah. But when someone new enters the circle, you go back to your shell. Right. And then when you're comfortable, you're open up. So imagine going to a fellowship or whatever, and then you're comfortable, and someone new comes in and you're like, oh, are we going to click or not? And it takes me a while, but it's a me problem, not them problem. But I prefer just meeting up with meeting up with friends and having that. I get that. What about yourself though?
I would say I'm quite similar, to be fair. Now I have various friends for various things. So that's kind of how I like to keep it.
Listen, your friendship group is lit. I was so gutted the other day. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Next time.
Gosh, nice lit.
Turn up.
Okay, next segment. Jesus, my throat is dry.
No, you got your Coke there, bro.
I do. Listen, Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola, sponsors of this podcast.
Please, amen. Speak it to existence.
Honestly.
Yeah. Okay, and the last segment is loneliness and male experiences. We're actually talking about it. However, let's look at different themes, like loneliness as a public health issue, linking to depression and anxiety, how losing friends sometimes could make us feel lonely. And I would say, what is the core issue of loneliness, and how can we actually develop the tools to overcome it? Because for me personally, I don't experience loneliness, and I never really... Actually, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to this.
Are you going to lie on this podcast, Chris?
I'm not going to lie on this podcast.
I mean, we got time. We got time.
Be comfortable. I never really experienced loneliness. I remember I I was talking to you there. I was just speaking. Yeah. And then you were like, oh, we'll just talk about relationships, this and the other. And I was just like, no, you said, oh, do you ever experience like loneliness? And I was like, no, because I love my own company. I'm an introvert to my core, so I love it. But then the other day, I was like, right, like, you know, because I was looking forward to watching a program. I was looking forward to this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I think... Am I lonely? Is this cold draft making me lonely? Like, literally, listen, bruh.
So you was lonely then?
Yeah, I was. And it comes and goes in waves. It's not like it's not because respectfully, if I wanted a relationship, I could get it. But you know what I'm saying? But it has to be the right relationship. But we'll talk about that in another segment.
Okay.
But yeah, I was just like, bro, like I could see myself, if I'm not careful, because I'm so comfortable being alone in this season, I could be like, rah, like I could imagine being 50 and just time being gone past and feeling lonely because my friends got their kids and they're married, and then my siblings got their kids, they're married, and my family and this and the other, and I'm just here, like, do you know? And for me, it's about legacy as well. Like, I'm working for what? Respectfully.
And you know what? To that point, because I think there was where did I read it? There's it's in Ecclesiastes. There's a scripture in the Bible where it talks about like it basically says, it's King Solomon, right? So I'm not trying to be preachy, guys, but it's like King Solomon, and he's speaking. You know, people know King Solomon from different faiths. I think Muslims even.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, like it's like he was known as like the wisest man, you know, richest man, etc. One of the richest men, and he basically wrote in this book called Ecclesiastes, where he writes down all these proverbs and wisdom that he gained from basically acquiring land, money, women. He had like 700 concubines and 300 wives, like all of that. Yeah, but I'm going somewhere with this. But he basically said that he observed something in life, and it was a man who, and I'm paraphrasing it, but in the book he says, I observed something in life, and it was a man who was working all for himself. And at the end of acquiring everything, he was like, who do I have to share my life with, or who do I have to kind of give anything to? And he saw that man deemed life meaningless because he was working for himself, essentially. So there was no one benefiting outside of himself from his own work. And I remember reading that years ago, and it struck a chord in me, because it's the same book where, you know, at weddings, people will say, two are better than one because they can help each other. You know, that's the scripture we always hear.
Yeah, but do we live it?
Do we live it though? Do we live it?
Shout out to the Christians.
Yeah, shout out to y'all. But like, it was just interesting because obviously, yeah, you have that in the Bible there. You hear it at weddings, but it's the same kind of. It's the same. It's coming from the same man who said, "Okay, being single and being alone is not it."
Yeah.
But then this is equally a man who had 1,000 women, and then he was like, at the end of it, it's not it. So I think because I know you do also. We haven't really touched on the idea of like you can be with somebody and still feel alone.
Bro, we're touching on it.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we're touching on it.
We're going there. Okay.
Time.
Cool. All right. We've got time. Because there is something about, like you said, it comes in waves. I experience it as well. There's sometimes I'm like,
it's getting real.
Are you over there? Are you
getting
over
real?
there? Where are you?
Gonna chilly.
Gonna chilly. It's a bit cold. And
even
it was funny. Even in the same, do you know what? What actually in the same book? Sorry, I keep referring back to this Ecclesiastes because I feel like it's just playing my mind. In the same book, he says, I think it's like he says two are better than one because I think he says that if one is in the bed, how can they keep themselves warm?
Wow.
And sometimes that bed be cold, chat. That bed be cold.
But you know what? This is, we'll come back to the conversation, but I low-key feel maybe this is a bit controversial, but I'm like, I'm kind of scared to share my bed. Because I like my space. So I'm like, when I get married, do I, is it weird if that, like my wife, like, I go sleep in another room with this and the other? Because for me, I like to, obviously hugging and all that stuff. Let's keep it PG. But I just feel like when I'm lying down in my bed, and say it's hot, and the missus wants to cuddle,
sweaty.
and I'm just like, I don't want that. But you're gonna have to, because if you don't, she feels rejected, and then and I'm just like, bruh, like I would rather just have my, because not me talking so directly to the mic, but sometimes I would just feel like I don't know.
Because there was that couple, I saw a couple on TikTok where they actually have separate rooms.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad at that. That must be an introvert's dream though. It's
Yeah.
like they they do everything in life together, but then they have separate rooms and then they'll do what they call sleepovers. So they'll be like, oh, should you want to sleep over at mine tonight or at mine? But it's not every night, but thank you.
That's beautiful.
Allow me to miss you.
I want that.
That's I think space is imperative, but I do think just the same way in waves, like you said about the loneliness thing, it's how do you navigate that? Because I feel like I've got a lot of thoughts right now. I'm just thinking about the idea of like being in the same bed. Like it's kind of hot.
Yeah, it's
kind of hot. Like,
and you got a fan and it doesn't work.
And it's not. Yeah, like
it's just not everyday touching. Like
sometimes, especially for introverts, you guys will want you guys are gonna get annoyed after a while.
It's like, bruh.
It's like, get out of my space.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, get out of my space. Get out of my space. No, but yeah, to that point, basically, I think is basically the reason why I was saying all of that is that there's this thing of, okay, I'm lonely, but I need someone. But at the same time, when I get someone, I have to recognize, because all these married people be saying that, oh, they can't complete you.
It's true.
Do you get what I mean? All these relationships. I spoke to someone. I went to dinner and I spoke to someone in a relationship, and they were like, no, I make myself happy. And I was like, oh, okay.
And that's what it needs to be. Like, you should be whole.
Yes.
Before you actually meet your spouse. Because I was saying to my cousin the other day, I was like, it doesn't make sense when two people get into a relationship and they bond over trauma. Like that doesn't, and you don't take accountability for your actions. You're like, oh, I'm this because that person, I was hurt in the past, so I operate like this. And I always question and ask myself, like, how did I contribute to my own misery? Like, how did I? And shout out to the beautiful bae, Melissa Frost. Okay, she's not my bae.
Who's Melissa Frost?
No, it's not Melissa.
Down. Melissa Frost.
No, Melissa Ford.
Oh, Melissa Ford. You know what's
screaming.
Funny? When you said Melissa Frost, I knew what came into my mind was actually Melissa Ford. So it's fine. Melissa Ford.
Yeah, someone I went to school with, and she's shout out to Melissa. But she said that, and that really hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, rah. Like, accountability is everything. And some people, unfortunately, in life, they like to play the victim role. And that script is coming tiresome. You're coming typecasted, and it's no good for your mental health. No. People are living in your mind rent free. Anybody got time for that?
No, no one's got time for that.
Wow.
But I think,
say what's on your mind,
I think the loneliness thing is really, I think it is plaguing a lot of people though. Yeah. Because we're so interconnected now, via socials, it can feel like it's almost like a pseudo company thing. Yeah. So I can see, Chris is doing this on social, so-and-so is doing this. And you feel, it's like, when you're at home by yourself and then you put the TV on to make it feel like somebody's here with you. There's no one in the room with you. It's like that now, but with our phones.
It's quite scary.
So it's quite scary because before you know it, this is how they now build AI bots that can now replace your girlfriend. And
I heard they're allegedly building stuff like that.
They are. And why are they building those things? Because they recognize that some men are lonely and there's an insatiable desire that's not being met. Yeah. And so I think it's two things. I feel like we need to scale back our desire for like constant what's the word? Constant gratification or stimulation. Constant stimulation. And then also start to gather in places where you actually have to build relationships with people, where you have to get annoyed with them. You have to be irritated and then actually say that you're irritated, not like block them on social media and delete them and walk away. You know what I mean? Or
I'm a hypocrite. But
so bro, you and me both. I'm saying all of this, but me, I like a good, not ghosting, but
I love a ghost.
I love it.
What?
Me and you will be fighting and you won't know that I'm fighting you.
Yeah.
You will not know.
I'm good.
But we are full on fighting, bro.
Like,
but the only way to get over that is to, you have to start getting into spaces where you can meet people.
Yeah.
You can honestly, and open up because,
you have to. You have to be honest.
There's some, I'm managing how I'm talking because there's so much on this topic that I can say.
Bruh, we could go. Listen, we still got time, bro.
We still got time. Do you have okay, because just with something with the prompt that you
Go on.
shared,
Please.
How, like, you mentioned here talking about how losing friends or not opening up deepens the isolation. So, yeah.
We're getting there. Oh my gosh.
We're really talking the things.
Listen, we're talking.
So when you mentioned the friends that you earlier on,
we are getting real.
It's funny, It's funny because I know who the friend is,
but
I
love him so much.
And they're really, really good friends. They are.
Yeah.
And I think I'm laughing because I know you and I know, like, it's just, man. Yeah, I can't say anything too much more. When that friendship was, did you feel isolated when it was breaking up?
I did initially because, and what is so interesting is I really felt it because I was like, questioning, have I done something wrong?
Yeah.
Have I done something to offend him? Have I this, that, and the other? Because this guy, like, I have friends, but this guy is still my brother. So I was just thinking, in my mind, I didn't know how to, and that's why friendships are sometimes harder than relationships because you don't know how to navigate. You do know how to navigate life without that person, but in respect, I'm thinking that guy is going to be a groomsman, and when I do get married and when I have kids, you know, he'll be a wise uncle to my kids. Sometimes, you know, I want to be there for my kids emotionally, spiritually, physically, all that good stuff, but sometimes my kids won't want to open up to their dad. That's just the way it is.
Facts.
So at least they have certain uncles that they could talk to. So I'm like, you know, it's quite annoying. But what's your question again? I'm so sorry.
No, saying that the isolation piece, like, so you did feel isolated in that. I
did, but I feel like it was one side isolation because he didn't know that I was experiencing that, and because I know my friend's heart, it's not intentional. Yeah, but when I would confide in a friend about it, and I don't blur my business, it's just for clarity, they would be like, oh yeah, maybe reach out, or another person that I know, they're like, yeah, man, they're acting this, that, I would feel away, blah, 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 which is justified. But then I'm like, kind of like, it depends what ear you listen to, because I know my guy's heart. So I'm like, he wouldn't do anything intentionally to make me feel ruffled. Do you know what I mean?
No.
You don't?
No, I agree. Sorry. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
But I thought a butt's coming.
The butt that's coming is that because with the access, again, going back to the fact that we feel like we have access to one another, right? Yeah. It's made us lazier when it comes to actually checking in with friends and actually taking the tangible time to really say, okay, let me pick up the phone and call this person and talk over the phone rather than perceive that, oh, they've watched my story. And because I had that with friends. What?
Because I was like that. I'm not going to lie. I was like, you're watching my story.
You're watching my story, but you're not.
But then it's like I'm blaming and having accountability. I'm not taking accountability for my own actions because I could give them a call respectfully. No. Honest, I could not like.
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I did feel, which I did feel some sort of way, I text because I don't like weird energy, but I could give him a message. But my feelings, so I was just, I was just like, no, like, why am I feeling? Because my other friend,
because when your feelings hurt, you don't want to be the one that's. No,
I don't. I'm just like, no. Like, and they're
think.
living rent free. And like, it's just like, bro, like, you don't care for me anymore. But yeah, and other friends who have, you know, be no longer close, and people are like, oh yeah, how's that friend? And I'm literally, I couldn't tell. I wish them the best, but we just naturally grew apart. I don't really have interest in coming back together, and it's no shade. I just don't see any purpose of that friendship anymore. But I do wish them success, blessing, and everything that's good in life.
You're a better man than me. I wish. I know. I wish them the same things. I think it's hard though when you could be friends with one person. Yeah. Let's say you were a group of people, and then you're not friends with like certain people in that group. Now there's no way you're not gonna not see them because by virtue of there's a birthday, there's an event, you know what I mean? And then you're kind of having to interact with someone that you thought you left in your past.
Do you feel like you would have to keep it like maybe amicable? Like when you see them, it's just like, hi, you good? Yeah. But they no longer have access to you that, you know, because sometimes it's not like, oh, if we're going there, sometimes it doesn't have to be a friend. It could be a family member sometimes if you don't get along with, and obviously your family and you have family events. But by the grace of God, that's never been my situation. But I could imagine you have to be amicable. So it's just about knowing that person no longer has access to you or has the privilege of knowing you and knew of you but don't know you.
Yes.
Or where you are going.
Yeah. You have to have that. It's like boundaries, essentially.
Healthy boundaries.
Healthy boundaries.
I respect it.
Some of the books I've been kind of reading lately have been on boundaries. There's some really good books out there on boundaries.
Okay.
If I remember the titles, we can maybe put it in the thing.
Yeah, if they pay us.
If they pay us. Go to our Amazon storefront and you can buy it there. Don't buy it from the official thing, okay? But literally, there's a couple books on boundaries. Also, there's a really good book called The Courage to Be Disliked, which I highly recommend everybody get into. Especially, I know we're talking about loneliness and stuff.
Yeah,
but because obviously, if you're lonely, you don't want to be disliked all the more than you already feel like you are.
Yeah,
but I genuinely think that when you read books like that, it will help you find your actual tribe. Because some of your loneliness, I don't want to be one of those guru people, but some of your loneliness, I feel, is you transitioned into actually finding your actual friendship group as well.
Most definitely.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you do need to have that period where
it's true.
You're feeling lonely because also you're outgrowing certain things.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't connect with that anymore. So now you're in loneliness. Sometimes is the corridor between, okay, those who I used to chill with.
Yeah.
And now I'm becoming, especially as you get older, you become more refined in who you are.
Yeah.
And then you find friends who
Most
work
definitely.
in that space. Do you know what I
Exactly.
mean?
And it challenges you sometimes to be greater. I think like sometimes there is a beauty in being lonely. It depends what you're doing with your time, isolating yourself. And sometimes I just encourage people, if you're in that season, I'm a little bit of a hypocrite, but pray and fast, ask Jesus to help you, ask the Holy Ghost, bro, and just be like, what season am I meant to enter? Yeah. And you know, sometimes you do meet like incredible friends that like you go to men's fellowship or even sport events or this and the other. But I just encourage people not to stay in that season of loneliness too long, because you will be battling with all these thoughts and all this stuff. And it's a lot.
It's a lot.
But yeah, guys, honestly, this has been amazing.
Yes, it has.
Having my boy Mike.
Oh, bro, I feel like I could sit here all day, mate.
Listen,
this is a vibe, man.
Honestly.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to.
No, go on.
I was going to say, I did have a couple solutions.
Oh, yes, please.
That do you feel like we've covered everything? By the way?
think we could do a solution. So for 3 minutes, we could.
Okay. So I heard on a podcast, and people may have heard this or not, but if you're struggling like in your male friendships to kind of like talk about what's really going on, basically there was I heard it from another podcast. They basically said what you do is you meet with your boys once a month. So you have your, you know, and women obviously will be listening to this as well. So meet with your girls and stuff. But I feel like women naturally, they're more able to talk about what's happening. I feel, but alas, this can work for anyone. So you get together with your friends, and then what you do, everybody writes down on a piece of paper like the thing that they're struggling with the most at the moment.
I like this.
Yeah. So everybody writes down what you're struggling with. You put it in a box or whatever.
Okay.
And then everybody's going to take out one randomly and they're going to read it. And then the group are going to come together unanimously to decide which one person's thing is the thing for us to focus on for the next month, which is the most pressing issue.
That's so beautiful.
And obviously you can change this you can change it where it's like maybe we have 2 issues. If it's a small friendship group, it's like, all right, 2 this month and whatever. And then what it does is at the end, the person reveals who it is whose one it is.
I was going to say, do we like guess?
Yeah, who we guess?
Who's lonely?
Oh, and the thing is, if you're all friends, really, you might already know.
No, yeah.
But the idea is that if this is a group of boys that, you know, you don't speak about your things and stuff, you put it in the middle, take it out, everyone reads one, and then they say, right, this is the issue. Okay, so somebody is on the brink of losing their job.
Oh, wow.
Right? So let's say that's the issue. Then the friends make it their mission so that the next month when they all meet, they support that person with whatever they might need. So whether it's like, bro, what you're struggling with, you know, who do we need to talk to? I know this person. And then that way, one, it's not an expose because everybody's struggles are put out in front of everyone. Yeah. So just because your one is the most pressing one, we still know that Billy's wife is not cooking anymore because he's annoyed or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
What the hell?
Billy's wife is not cooking because I don't know, he did something bad. But everybody's issues are put out on the table so that you don't feel isolated, but it's just that everyone agrees that your one is the most pressing. Yeah. So then you can go next month and then you keep going. And then the whole idea is that everyone rallies around you to support you in that thing.
Yeah.
And when I heard that, I thought that's a beautiful way of trying to, solving your problem with your friends.
Yeah.
Because the first step is the fact that people don't know what they don't know. So if you don't tell them, they will not know. So by putting it in the thing, everyone now knows there's an issue.
Yeah.
Someone else has read yours out, or maybe you end up reading up your own. And then you now have the support behind you. And now you know everyone else's business. So it's fine. It's a safe space. Obviously, it only works if it's a safe space, ladies and gentlemen. So that's one solution, I would say. That's probably the main solution.
That's dope.
So I'm actually going to try that with some of my boys.
That would be fun.
Let's see if it works out.
That's also sarcastic.
In this day and age, I feel like it would have to be virtual because everyone's so busy. You know what I mean? I feel like it'd have to be virtual, but
That's dope. Honestly, that's a beautiful thing to wrap it up.
Nice.
This podcast. But guys, thank you so much for listening to my podcast, Searching for Myself, on all streaming audio. I don't know why I moved my hands like that. Apologies. So yes, watching us on YouTube and listening to us on all streaming platforms. Just remember to like, share, and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, you get exclusive access to different spin-offs of Searching for Myself. So a lot of vlogs, a lot of people who are cooking, ice skating, all that good stuff. So it'll be Searching for Myself, doing this, doing that, and it's going to be quite fun and entertaining. So you get that exclusive access. But if not, and you're just listening on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple, all that good stuff, it's all gravy. But just remember to like, share, subscribe, and also leave a comment and rate your boy, please. This is just the beginning, and this is series 1 with the incredible Michael the Great.
Hey, my boy. So, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, guys. Until next time.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
See ya.